Okay, my darling Pisces, this is your March reading, and it's probably your birthday soon. And we are coming to the end of last year's cycle. You're probably going to feel fairly comfortable in your own season. It's going to feel like a natural fit. Maybe it's just that the collective energy feels a little bit more like how you would like it to be. You might thrive in this season. It might be a more comfortable level of change. But as the new astrological year approaches, we do have an energy around closing off what we've learned, what we've been through, and reflecting upon all of those cycles that are now coming to an end. So we can really look back on the last year all the way back to February, March last year, what we've been through, what we've learned, what we'd like to consolidate, what we'd like to reflect on, what parts we knew were necessary, what parts we're still a bit curious about, because when Aries season starts, it's usually a lot of fiery beginnings happening, a lot of new doors opening, and consolidating everything that we've learned and taking it into that new cycle is really important. So for you, Pisces, what are we swimming around in? We're going to do a 3-card story and think about how it relates to you and what you've got going on. And then we'll pull one for the shadow aspect, which is from the Stalk Your Shadow Oracle deck. Okay, so a lot of the signs did actually get this card in the first position. So it's interesting, isn't it, that our collective energy is telling quite a few of us to understand all the work that we've done, everything that we've prioritized for our own emotional and spiritual fulfillment, to take note of how far we've come, and to understand that we have built a fairly solid perimeter of self-worth around us. It is a card that says celebrate where you're at. Actually take note of what you've been through and how far you've come, and allow that to integrate into your sense of self-worth. So this is a great time to start journaling and saying, what were my favorite parts of last year? What can I really be proud of? What are the things that I'm glad that I learned? How am I going to move forward knowing that I can claim for myself that I prioritize and actioned all of those things that were good for me? This really is, you're doing well, Pisces. Please acknowledge where you're at. I don't want to hear, when this card shows up, we're not looking at scarcity. We're not looking at like that person did that to me. We're looking at, wow, I've come a long way and I should really be proud of myself. And that's where we start, that foundation of self-worth, self-honoring, and reflecting on positive. This is a positive card to reflect on. We're not at the complete feeling of I have the right people around me and a full support network and community yet. We're just banking that I've provided for myself all of these self-worthy parts so I can get ready for those people to come into my life. Being mindful of all the temptations that used to throw us off our path. So if you think about before 9 of Cups, where you have been in the past, where, and possibly there are places where you've been in massive self-sabotage, overindulgence, trying to get quick fixes of dopamine that left you even worse off, doing disempowering habits, even if you thought they were okay at the time, the devil really asks us to understand where we go into temptation and overindulgence that doesn't serve us. It's a fairly shadowy card in itself, but all I like to do when the devil comes up is say, just be mindful of where your mind plays tricks on you and takes away all of those cups that you've built for yourself. Because honoring what takes us off our path is as important as what puts us on. Because we need to be mindful of the red flags, of the danger zones, of the lack of boundaries, the overgiving, the self-sabotage, the drinking too much, eating too much, sleeping not enough, whatever it is for you, no judgments. But the devil shows you that he's now collected a bunch of those actions and said, I'm here anytime you need me. All you have to do is just do that naughty thing. It will take away from the cups that you've built for yourself. You will go backwards. It's not a nice feeling. The devil sits there and says, I know you might want to, and I know you might think that you can get away with it. Isn't it funny how we go, oh, I've been doing pretty well. I think I can get away with it. And balance is key. But he's saying, be mindful. I am in the shadows. It is still very risky. Your red flags are real, right? At points in our life, we can sort of get away with doing naughty things and it doesn't seem to bother us, right? We can have the junk food, we can overcommit to people, we can make mistakes, and it seems to just be water off the duck's back. Here, I'm mindful of everything that you've built, everything that you've created for yourself in the way of spiritual and emotional nourishment, and a warning flag on that we're still moving forward. You haven't got to that plateau yet. But if we are mindful of the devil's energy, if we are mindful of those things that we know slide us back into chaos and adversity and scarcity and drama and low vibration, if we really honor what it takes to keep ourselves in alignment with what we need, we will get the triumph. We will have the victory. And now this card in a 5D sense for me actually says everything that you've worked towards is now here. You got what you asked for. Your guides have facilitated it for you. There is a sense of not completion, and it's not quite achievement. Sorry. And it's not quite achievement, but it's actually like this sense of I am now in a completely new place. The Chariot talks about moving now into a new place of higher dimensional frequency where more things will be available to you. This is moving beyond what the devil used to call out for. So this could be like healing something that is no longer an issue for you. It could be like healing a sense of sabotage or something you used to be really dependent on to the point where it's not even in your vicinity. It's not really a problem anymore. You could take it or leave it, and it doesn't show up like this. It's simply just part of staying in that major arcana sense of achievement, wellness, fulfillment, evolution, traveling to new places within yourself to know that the devil's not on your back anymore. And that's where we're trying to get to. So maybe at the end of the month, you'll get there. Maybe it will be a few more steps until we try and get there. Maybe this will be the start of the new year. We don't know. Maybe you're already here, but you're being mindful of how you've got there and just making sure that this dynamic doesn't play out too much. We don't want the push-pull of, oh, can I eat that? Can I have that small amount? Can I have like a microdose? We really need to get to a place who's like, I don't even need it. I just feel so complete and so alive that I don't think it's going to be an issue for me anymore, but I know where I've come from and I will still integrate the lessons, right? So it's really important that we see progression in this place, and we hope to redefine what that devil, oh, jumping card, what that devil actually means for us. Now, interesting enough, your shadow card is number 3. If you're into numbers, it's the owl. The owl is a very interesting totem. I have a lot of students with this as a birth totem, and they use it as a power animal as well. The owl comes in with very sharp sight, very strong instincts, very switched on intuition and wisdom that is uncomfortably sharp. They are the hunter in the night that never makes a sound. So when owl shows up for you, you are going to be able to hone in on that overindulgence and see it for what it truly is. Now, you might not want to see it that way. You might realize that something that you thought was a tool is poison. You might think that someone that had your back doesn't have capacity to. When the owl comes in, it goes straight into the shadow and it says, look clearly and don't unsee it. Don't make excuses. See it for what it is. Trust your instincts. So this is like the person that may have been an alcoholic for 25 years of their life, and one day they just see it for what it is and go, oh my goodness, I'm never going back there. Or it could be when someone shows up in your life saying all the right things, seeming to be everything that you've asked for. When owl shows up, you better look at that deception and think, what's beyond all of that? The owl is very good at hunting deception within yourself as well. All of the excuses, all of the things that say, well, I can just have a little bit and I'll just see them one more time and I'm sure it's going to be fine. We're just going to be friends now. Owl comes up and goes, mm-mm, you are deceiving yourself. And it is not worth going back into imbalance and decay and struggle. We are trying to get to the chariot and we're getting there using our instincts. We're getting there in a smart way. We don't want to get there with the push and pull and the try and the fail and everything. We actually just want to see. And there might be a bit of grief in that. Oh, I see. It's not good for me. I'm going to have to make a decision here. I'm going to have to close the door. I'm really going to have to facilitate this change. So please look at the parts of your life that are still calling you into self-sabotage. And owl is a very difficult truth to face and a very difficult truth to swallow. Yep. It really looks at deception, and it's not always someone deceiving you. It's actually you've been deceiving yourself. Listen for the narratives that say, no, I think it's okay. And I think they're pretty good with me, or I can just have one drink, or whatever it is for you. The owl is showing you, what is this? Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Don't worry about what it means for anybody else, right? Everything has a darker nature, and it depends if it's dark for us or not. Some people can literally take it or leave it. For you, it might be kryptonite. Person, places, environments, media, conversations, the ways that you do things. I have kookaburra signaling in the background. So look at those harsh truths. What used to be good for me is now not. This is signaling to you that we have to get rid of something. We have to clear it, destroy and uncreate it so you can stay in this energy, which looks really good. Yeah, it looks really positive if we can get there. Now, this is the dark, deep shadow work that we need to get there. If you literally have any owls in your environment and they show up and they hang out in the trees, or you see them at night, or you pick up a feather, just remember instincts, deception, what is the truth that I don't want to see? And just meditate or work with that feather or that totem and let it come through. Sometimes I have these two owls that sit at my window, and I have a long, grueling day with them to figure out what they are trying to get me to see. And it will be something that I am deceiving myself with. It will be like the excuses around, oh, just having an extra coffee, or it could be the excuses around, oh, I'm not in the mood right now, or I don't know if I can show up to myself today, or I don't know if I can serve my community today, and maybe I just need to rest, and all these things. Out, they sit there at my window until I get it. And when I get it, off they go. So as long as they're there, I'm looking, I'm searching, I'm hacking. That's what the shadow cards are good for. Keep on hacking, keep on looking down. If you've ever done our synaptic evolution course, we do it every January. We do some pretty deep shadow value work. We do a lot of rewiring. It's all the uncomfortable shit you don't want to look at. And we do it in a way, it's like, what are you getting out of it? Are you looking for attention? Are you looking for validation? Are you looking for, is it rebelliousness that's doing it? Is it a sense of authority that you can't find in the rest of your life? Like, what is that shadow value that you're actually seeking? Are you trying to control something? We need to let it go, transmute it, see it for what it is, and say, oh, okay, I get it, right? This is surrender and victory at the same time. So, my darling Pisces, I hope that helps. Please comment down below if resonating. Please let me know if there's anything else that you'd like to talk about. If you've ever wanting more information or extra content or an extra card, reach out. If you love what we do, We do this all the time on Patreon. We do live stream coaching calls, we do readings, we do astrology, we do healing, we have forums, we do challenges. Next challenge coming up is a sit in silence challenge. It's the easiest and most accessible way to meditate. Well, we're not going to make you do anything fancy. We just want you to show up to nature and to yourself every day, and it's life-changing. All right, Pisces, I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.